broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list. Hope I ain't missing my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own. Tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers, and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues. Guess if you ain't at the table, you on the menu. And I'm that spitter, baby. They don't want you to see, but everybody's south of Capitol Hill's rocking with me. Boys smoke the trays and ponder getting their life together. I'm comfortable with my role, so I'm like, whatever. Me? I ain't got a job, but I work hard. And you don't work hard, but you got a job. The irony is I'm judged while you feel the applause. I'm slept on, that's why I had to set this alarm. My dudes is armed, I'm armed with this arm charm. Body banging like she got that cream from Barry Bonds. Yeah.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
That Dre season is here, a real hitter with a mic, I'm everything that they fear. With that hood ain't the same, I was all on their ass, I'm level-headed. So yo, my dudes love when I spaz, and I'm so over Seattle's passive-aggressive attitude. They don't call you back, what they really saying is F you. While I'm from the same place, I move at a different pace. I prefer if you just said it to my face, damn, I did it.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it
I
for
hate
us.
these average dudes with they average spit, writing average rhymes, knocking average chicks. The closer I get, I can feel the people starting to shift. I'm loyal to a fault, and everybody can't come with. Rap's a rich man's game, I'm only playing with change. They bang models and singers, I'm knocking my old flame, I'm different. The crowd, I move with the chosen few. Black thoughts, I could be the front man for the roots. No diamonds and gold, I'm on my sticks and stones. If we can see your panty line, you should have on a thong. My team is strong, through this fire we forged the bond. And they already know what it is when I get on. To the hearse, party like it's December 31st. When I'm on my deathbed, I probably cracking my nurse. You ain't got the bars to compete. I'm a verbal athlete, deflating these boys so they say that I cheat. Damn, I did it.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Yeah. I should probably start by apologizing for the long wait, man. You know, I know I be tripping. But I'm not just a rapper, I'm an artist, and you know, my creative process is a little bit different than most. Nonetheless, I want to welcome everybody out to the Dre's Experience. I got TCF in the building, my whole camp's here with me. I got the band in here laying this cool-ass vibe. And I'm Seattle's own. Let's get into it.
I just wanna live. God protect me. I just wanna live. I just wanna live.
Grand rising to all of y'all. Happy Friday out there. Welcome to the Morning Update Show. I am your co-host, Trey Holiday. And joining me as my co-host today is Sean Goode of Choose 180, my brother. What's up, Sean?
It's so good to be here with you and be in space. How are you?
I'm well. And every time we get to do something together, I'm excited. So you're really bringing on the Feel Good Friday energy.
Well, thank you. Like I told you before the show got started, I was nervous getting dressed. I knew I was going to sit next to you, and you're a fashionista. So I was like, man, what am I going to wear today? I picked out an outfit like it was the first day of school or something. Went like 2 or 3 different directions, but here we are.
Yeah, you making it work. You're looking great, brother, by the way.
That means a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hear we have some special shout out we need to make sure we get to that.
Absolutely.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Today is my daughter Hope's 14th birthday. Hope, I love you. You're a gift. I'm so grateful that I have the privilege to be a part of your life and to be a part of this journey. Thank you for the honor of being able to steward these chapters, and I'm so excited for who you are becoming and who it is you choose to be every day. I love you.
I love it. Let's start this show off right.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to you, Hope. 14 is a monumental year, as all years are. Every time we get to celebrate another solar return around this earth. Happy birthday to you right here from us over at Converge Media. Amazing day.
Well, thanks for that.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. I'm doing everything I can. I mean, teenagers, you gotta get as many bonus points in as you can, right?
That's
So
right.
I'm filling up that love bank as much as possible because Lord knows it's what's wrong.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. You're doing the right thing as a father, and thank you for being here on your daughter's birthday.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We're going to get right into the headlines, guys, so I can line up and get to talking to my amazing guest today. We have Sean Goode, obviously, of Choose 180. We'll be diving into some of the issues happening in our community right now. We also have Michelle Reese. She is a community care coordinator. She'll be joining us later on in the show, doing a lot of great work out of Leschi Elementary School. And then we have Ayenay Abye. She'll be here also from the Tubman Center for Health and Freedom. So excited to talk to her as the CEO over there. Lots of great work happening. So this show is a Feel Good Friday, all about community-rooted solutions with those amazing guests. And right now, you guys know, is a perfect opportunity to tag and share the stream. Please tag and share the stream with folks that you feel can benefit from culturally relevant news emanating from right here in the Emerald City. And we got our updates that we got to keep on giving, and we got to do it with our partners in mind. Thank you to our partners over at the South Seattle Emerald and to the partners over at KBCS Radio 91.3 in Bellevue College. We appreciate you guys' partnership. You guys know we're keep on bringing you guys the morning update show in a wide variety of ways. It is available as a podcast. They're going to put the stream. No, it's like SoundCloud. That's what it is. I keep wanting to say StreamYard because we use that. The SoundCloud link right there for you guys. So you can find us anywhere that you guys find podcasts. We're on Apple Music and Spotify, iTunes, anywhere that you guys are finding podcasts. You guys can look us up. And if you're not able to catch the broadcast, then you guys can catch the podcast. This message is alive and well. It's going to continue to be alive and well, y'all. Not only during election season, but I think especially during election season. We want to make sure you guys are participating in our No Excuses campaign by going over there and copying a No Excuses t-shirt or a hoodie. You guys can go to whereweconverge.com/shop, and you guys can find a great way to support us over here at Converge and support independent Black media by also letting folks know that you are part of the No Excuses family, and that you're not having no excuses for these upcoming elected officials and no excuses for yourself. I'm always going to say, be sure you guys are putting your votes in that general election that's coming up in some months. We need all of us to be participating in that process. So no excuses to them and no excuses to you. The vaccine is readily available. So King County Public Health is still offering the vaccine right here for free. You guys can get Moderna, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, whichever brand you want. You guys can go ahead and get it. And it is free to you. If you're unable to leave your home for any reason, there are services that will come directly to your house. I think, we're seeing these spikes with the Delta variant. We're seeing it hit our communities once again. And it's important that we keep that message alive and well so that you guys know it is free. No need to pay. No need to pay somebody to come to your house. They'll do all of that for free. And, we've been keeping this up as well in our headlines here. SDOT and their Safe Streets survey. It is ending on Sunday. So you guys can see right there at Island. So they're taking advantage of the free permit to get extensive seating outside in the street. And if you guys are enjoying or maybe not enjoying it, we want to hear from you over at SDOT. So please feel free to make sure you guys participate in that survey. It is closing on Sunday. So this is the last day that we get to share that message. And I'll just say this. I'm a patron of these restaurants, and I love the innovative nature that we're taking as we're all shifting and making changes during COVID and this pandemic. It has all of us making some different types of changes and pivots, and we're seeing that in the restaurant and business and industry. And, I know that they're already hit with short staff. So really finding another way to serve customers and stay safe is really important. But SDOT really wants community voice to be a guiding factor in how they shape up their Safe Start 2.0 program. So please sign into that survey, log on, give your comments, make sure that they are hearing from you. And you guys can see it out there. I mean, you guys have been feeling it over the last couple of days. This excessive heat advisory is upon us. So we want you guys to stay cool during this heat wave. Always stay hydrated. If you guys have access to an AC unit, please be using it. You know, a lot of folks have said, look, come over to my house. You know, we'll keep it socially distanced and nice and safe. But if I got AC, I'm going to try to share it. I love being here at Liberty Bank Building because we've been blessed this week to have access to some cool air circling through the building. So please stay safe and make sure you guys are checking in on your neighbors, particularly the elders, you know, sending them water, making sure folks have ice if they want it. Sean, I got to say, I think back to one of those old school movies, you know, Spike Lee, and, you know, having the ice, you know, they had to have the ice on those hot days. Sometimes that's what you need. So, hey, I'll just say this. Make sure you guys are checking in on your neighbors. It's really important. The clouds are getting a little bit hazy. We're seeing that smoke come in. So it's a big old smorgasbord of things happening outside, but we want you guys to be safe. You guys, I keep saying it, and this is true. This is my favorite campaign we have going on right now. We got to get Jake to take.
Unbelievable, man. He's the best player in the world. I'm glad he's on my side. And going into a game 7, you want the best player in the world on your side.
The backyard got mountains in it. I do not move until my accountant finish. Big mason jars, each one an ounce.
That's right. Go on over to Instagram right now and follow our guy, Jay Gravbot, at walk.into.the.light. He is providing some amazing imagery. And you know what? It embarrasses him every time we play it, but we don't care because we love Jake and we want to help get him over that 10K benchmark on IG. Hey, I'm only at like 1,200. So if y'all want to help get me to like 2,000, that's great too. But follow our guy, Jay.
Yeah, come see me at Possibilities Over Problems. Because I mean, I can't even see 10G from where I'm at.
I'm telling you, it's real. And Jake is pretty close. So it's like, that's why we're like doing this amazing extreme push to get our guy over 10K. This Saturday, tomorrow, it is happening at Converge Studios. The SABJ, Seattle Association of Black Journalists, is going to be in the building at Converge, giving a tribute to the Connie Thompson. We got Jesse Jones in the building, making sure that Connie is feeling the love. Her life and legacy in media has been so inspiring to so many out there. The tickets are $10, you guys. Be a part of this amazing fundraiser by the SABJ to inject some much needed funding into their scholarship program. Sean, this is one of those things where, for me, anytime that we get to be a part of some of these larger campaigns, it's just exciting. And Connie Thompson is a true legend.
And $10 isn't too much of anything, right? And even if you can't go, buy a ticket and put the money in to be able to help advance the collective effort.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys heard it right there from Sean. Let's make sure that we are being a contributor to that scholarship fund by the SABJ. And thank you, SABJ, for bringing your amazing production right over to Converge Studios. I'm so happy that we get to be a part of that. So you guys, I'm really excited because, we got those headlines out of the way. It's Feel Good Friday. I'm here with my brother, Sean Goode. We're going to get right into all the things that are going on in community with Sean Goode after this short break. Stay tuned, you guys. You're watching the Morning Update Show.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Back on this rap ish, I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list, hope I ain't miss my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own, tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.
Market Street Shoes, slinging kicks since 2006, with styles that support you and yours, getting the F outside or staying comfy when you just want to lounge indoors as well. But wait, Market Street Shoes is way more than just a shoe store. Gear up for your next outdoor adventure with apparel and accessories that'll have you looking good on the streets, the trail, or even in your own backyard. With locations in Ballard, Redmond, and online at marketstreetshoes.com, there's undoubtedly a style and size that'll fit your lifestyle.
Right.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Morning Update Show. I'm your co-host, Trey Holiday, and joining me as my co-host today is my brother, Sean Goode of Choose 180. What's up, Sean?
Man, I'm so grateful to be here.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I love a Feel Good Friday, especially you've come to several Feel Good Fridays, and it always is great energy. So thank you again for being here.
Man, it's an honor. I get to sit in OC, and we're making it happen today.
Well, you know what? There's a lot going on in our community, and I know with all the work that you're doing, you keep your ear to the ground. What are some of the things going on out there, man?
Yeah, Trey, it's difficult. I mean, yesterday there was 4 shootings in a matter of hours throughout our county. And the challenge feels like it's not being met quite yet with the appropriate response. And unfortunately, people continue to rely on programs as if programming is going to stop the spread of this disease of violence. And programming is a stopgap. It's not a solution. It's kind of an in-between, right? You know, and if we're ever going to actually begin to lean into the solution, we have to begin to change the material conditions that people are living in that are fostering an environment that's conducive to this type of violence. And that means we have to begin to resource communities and not programs. We have to begin to create a pathway to home ownership. We have to be able to make sure living wage jobs are proximate to where people are living. We have to make sure there's quality education and quality healthcare and all of these things that are present in neighborhoods throughout our county that aren't impacted by this disease of violence. And so, you know, it would be one thing for me if the entire county was just dealing with this, but it's not. It's neighborhoods that are largely populated by people just like us that are being pushed throughout different pockets of the county based on gentrification and cost of living. And we have to begin to address more than just the symptoms. We have to get to a root cause place. We have to get past just talking about wearing masks, right? And get to the place where we begin to treat the disease. Yeah. And programming at best is a mask. And I'm saying that as somebody that leads an organization that's doing programs, like wear a mask. We are not a vaccine, right? We are an in-between until we get to a place where we no longer are having this conversation. And candidly, I'm tired. Like legit, I get excited. This sounds kind of wrong, but like when I'm going through my timeline and I see that somebody passed away from old age, like there's like a sigh of relief. When I see somebody grieving on social media and it's because they lost a loved one because of old age, I'm like, whew, thank goodness. Because I'm in anticipation every day of another young person being lost because of the spread of this disease of violence.
You know what? I mean, the ways that you lay it out, it's so true. And we talk about how it's felt in our communities as such a ripple effect.
Yeah.
You know, so many of us grew up together. We know each other. Our parents know each other, grandparents. So there's always this, you know, degree of separation that we end up experiencing particularly in Black communities, where it's like, as soon as you said that to me today, because I didn't know, right? And everybody knows I don't always follow the news because I'm here doing it. Yeah. But ultimately, like, that was a shocker. And immediately I thought, man, who do I know out of those 4?
Yeah. And you know, and fortunately, it's finally getting some attention, right? But it's only getting attention because it's now happening in places that are predominantly populated by white people, right? I mean, gentrification has pushed Black and brown folks south, which means they're now living in suburban settings that historically were populated by only white people. And Black and brown folks are still returning to neighborhoods that they're historically from and engaging. So now these neighborhoods that are largely dominated by white people are experiencing the type of violence that has always happened here. So because white people are proximate to the disease, now they're worried about being impacted by the spread of it. And now King County and Dow Constantine and others want to raise the flag and raise the attention of it and say we need to begin to resource solutions. Well, I need them to get past resourcing stopgaps. Like, we need resources to advance our programming. Don't get me wrong. The comprehensive response is being crafted out of the Zero Youth Detention Department, being led by Derek Wheeler-Smith and largely stewarded by Willard Jimerson, is transformative throughout South King County and King County at large. It will make a difference. It will make a change. And ultimately, it is just programming that's in place to pause the things from happening long enough to begin to administer a cure. And the programming can't last forever. We have to begin to administer a cure. Otherwise, we find ourselves back having the same conversation, constantly looking for money to do the programming when we're not actually meeting the real felt needs. Yeah. My sibling, Nikita, introduced it to me, the concept the first time, where they talked about changing the material condition. And when they continued to champion changing the material condition, I had to pause and think, like, well, we're doing great work at Choose 180. I know other folks, Progress Pushers out in Federal Way, doing great work. Community Passageways, doing great work, right? Freedom Project, doing great work. All these organizations doing great work. And the work will continue. But if you go home to the same environment that you came from, after you've been given this new and fresh perspective, and the home environment hasn't changed, then ultimately we're constantly wrestling with the reality that unless we begin to resource the change of that reality, the tension will never go away.
Wow. I mean, the way that you, yes, right. Everything that you're talking about is exactly why when I am having discussions around this issue of gun violence, youth gun violence in particular, I think about Council Member Gramay and what he stated around treating this like a public health crisis. The same ways that we sprout out it, all of these vaccination clinics and testing sites and, socially distanced, laws and regulations and putting it on us as individual citizens to participate and make sure that we are doing the work to keep our neighbors safe, to keep ourselves safe. All of those things came out like that. Yeah. And so the idea is that we can do it. The model is there. Now it needs to be formatted to say, this is a public health crisis. We need to treat it this way. He talked about having safe zones, just like we had these testing sites and now these vaccination sites, right? Pulling up and having these places in the places where the violence is happening so that there is a constant source of disruption to that violence. And I think about it all the time because the truth of the matter is that I have young brothers. I'm the oldest of four. And almost every time that there's a shooting, if I don't know them, they know them. Yeah. And I think immediately to myself, these are all young people that now they're people's kids that we know. Yeah. That's how serious and ingrained this is in our community. And ultimately, I think that what you said, because I studied urban studies. So when I think about sprawl, white flight, right, and all of that, we're seeing waves of that now because, we were out there away from the inner urban core. Now we're coming back. But you're right. It doesn't mean that you're washing away the problem. Yeah. Weed and seed did not completely erase all that was here in terms of the issues that we need to deal with. So now it's about creating solutions to deal with those issues.
And before our diverse listening audience gets the wrong idea, gun violence is not black and brown. Yeah. Right. Gun violence is symptomatic of conditions that have been created by dominant culture. Yeah. And so I don't want viewers to get the impression that if black and brown people move into neighborhoods, then gun violence begins to happen. No. The inability to benefit from capitalism and the fact that black folks were the capital that created capitalism, the fact that black folks have a nickel to the dollar that white people hold, and that wealth gap that creates an opportunity gap. And that opportunity gap begins to create the need for a secondary economy. And when black people can't tap into the primary economy, a secondary economy is created in order to simply survive. And when they begin to engage in that secondary economy, the risks are different. And in an effort to mitigate those risks, they begin to do things behaviorally that can become long-term problematic. But if they simply had access to the primary economy, the secondary economy wouldn't be necessary, and we wouldn't find ourselves in the situation in the first place. So before we feel like this is a black and brown problem, let's be clear. This is a problem rooted in capitalism and the inability for black and brown people to access the primary economy. So give us access to that economy. Give us access to that wealth. Give us access to those opportunities. Give us access to that kind of healthcare, that kind of education, those kind of housing, right? And then watch this thing go away. But I have to question, if access is the barrier to curing this disease, is the desire really in place to cure the thing, or just meet the thing with more programming?
Oh, this right here is exactly why I love when you come on. And this is what really transforms me into that Feel Good Friday piece. Because what you're talking about is absolutely correct. When we think about capitalism in and of itself, right? There are ways to utilize it as a tool to mitigate the damages that we're talking about.
Yeah.
But what you just described is where my mind goes all the time. Yeah. Capitalism is not there for everyone to participate. No. It's literally systemically built that way, so that those those other folks can benefit from that secondary economy. And us having to create it. That's what it is at the end of the day.
Look, I tell people all the time, asking Black folks to benefit from capitalism is asking the chocolate chip what the cookie tastes like, right? Like, we are baked into capitalism that created the capitalism because we were the capital, right? And we all know the best part of the cookie is the chocolate chip.
Always. I mean, Sean is over here spitting. Everybody's like, yes, we're doing snaps all around, because you're absolutely right, bro. At the end of the day, this is why we have to begin to disrupt systems. And when we talk about elevating the material conditions of Black people, when we talk about what real equity looks like, we have not had equity in anything. It was inherently not built into the system. So now we have to really take it brick by brick and understand how to rebuild it in a way that brings about these real long-term solutions for everybody. And ultimately, the great thing about it is the end result then means that everybody is benefiting. It doesn't mean that the small few, this whole we are the 99, that 1%, it doesn't have to be that way. And I think about how rich we are right here in Washington State. You know, when I think about that, I always go back to the fact that we have to actually elevate what you're talking about so that we can uproot it.
And Trey, my friend Mary Pugh from Pew Capital, right? She gave me a report one time. I forget which bank created the report, but essentially what the report said was that if we balance things out and provided the type of equity necessary for Black and brown folks to thrive in this capitalistic world we live in, then everybody benefits. Everybody benefits. Folks from white dominant culture that for generations have benefited off the backs of Black and brown labor, y'all benefit too by making sure that everybody has. But that sounds too like socialist for many, and it makes people want to run away because, well, you didn't work for it, so you don't deserve it. Well, candidly, right, most of us don't get what we deserve. We get what we got, and then we do the best what we can do based upon what's in front of us. That's why I don't know too many Black folks that don't got a side hustle. Right? We doing like 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive things just to be able to make up for the gap, and we still can't close that gap, right? We have to do better collectively, and it's going to require the collective us, y'all. So that means all of us throughout this county, throughout this state, throughout this country, to lift up in the same way that we did after George Floyd was murdered, and make sure that we're present in our votes, present in community, present at events, present as we support Black-led initiatives and Black-led organizations in such a way that you cannot ignore the presence of the brilliance of Blackness.
If that is not a feel-good lesson for all of y'all out there, Sean Goode just eloquently said, see yourself as part of the solution, okay? You guys know it's my constant moniker. I always love to end the show with it because what he is talking about is exactly right. It is on point and on par with where we need to be going as a city, as a county, as a state, as a nation, as the world. All of us need to be pouring into it. Man, Sean,
come on.
Thank you so much, brother. Setting us all right on this Feel Good Friday.
Well, I'm grateful, man. You got me all worked up now. Like, I know we got to transition and like move through the rest of the program. And I'm like, all right, what do we got? What's next? What's next?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm so glad I get to end the show with you. I'll be bringing you back at the end, but thank you again for uplifting that message. It definitely needs to be heard today. And I appreciate your eloquence, my brother, as always.
Man, well, if y'all didn't catch anything, most importantly, happy birthday, Hope. I love you, little girl.
There we go. Oh my gosh, I'm feeling it, and I hope y'all are too. We're going to continue these good vibes with my girl, Michelle Reese, coming up. The community care coordinator is going to give us her take on how she's caring for community. Stay tuned after this short break. We'll be right back. You're watching the Morning Update Show.
Hey Seattle, if you're trying to find something to do this summer, I got the perfect thing for you. Come on down to Seattle Waterfront's Pier 62 and enjoy free, yes free, family-friendly events all summer long, like art, dance, music, storytelling, and if you're trying to get that body right before the summer is over, you might as well join their free yoga and fitness classes. Head on over to Waterfront Park Seattle for a full summer schedule of vibes you don't want to miss.
Hey, it's me, downtown Seattle, C-Town. Wish you were here. Here to explore inside, outside, and everywhere in between. Where it's easy to get my good side. Here, where my rooftops invite you to come early and stay late. Where every view is a postcard, and each night out might be your best night ever. See you soon. Love, C-Town.
Market Street Shoes, slinging kicks since 2006, with styles that support you and yours, getting the F outside or staying comfy when you just want to lounge indoors as well. But wait, Market Street Shoes is way more than just a shoe store. Gear up for your next outdoor adventure with apparel and accessories that'll have you looking good on the streets, the trail, or even in your own backyard. With locations in Ballard, Redmond, and online at marketstreetshoes.com, there's undoubtedly a style and size that'll fit your lifestyle.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Morning Update Show. I mean, I am feeling really good, and I'm going to continue that feeling with my girl, Michelle Reese, Community Care Coordinator. What's up, Michelle?
What's going on, Trey?
Hey, thank you so much for joining me today. And I got to say, you know, this entire show, I'm so glad to have these guests here because you guys really do, for me, embody what it means to be out there in community, to be passionate about the work you do, and to be bringing your own perspective to that work. So let's dive in because I see you all over the place and I know you're over at Less Shy too, but what are some of the main things that you do as community care coordinator?
So as a community care coordinator, the main things that I do is make sure that I'm supporting the students first, as well as in school, I support the students. While school is out, I'm supporting those families as well and families that are in clinic. But just making sure that the students have the resources that they need, the families are getting resources that they need. A lot of times there's a lot of trauma that you don't see on the outside or the outer surface. So making sure that you build those relationships with students so you're able to connect with them and find out those different needs, and making sure you're supporting them and letting those educators know what's going on. And sometimes there are things that are going on and they are just not aware of those. So,
well, you know, I was telling you before, I mean, my mom was a family support worker, right?
Yes.
At Madrona, at TT Minor. I just watched her be such a pillar for families. And I know that you're doing the same work. What is it that drives you to give back to community in this way? I know you get paid for the position, but I know that it also takes so much more than just doing whatever your job is, right? You have to give so much more. And what is it that drives you in that way?
I would say what drives me in that way is just community. Being from the community, a lot of those kids, I know their moms or just not even knowing their family is just having a heart, you know. I have a heart for community. I think that's a natural thing for me. And, you know, a lot of times when you get these different positions, you really don't know what they all entail, but it's just the innocence of the kids that's really my heart for what I'm doing right now in this position.
Well, you know, Sean, before the break, he was just really breaking down some of the ways, that we need to start thinking about,
Yes.
you know, being really intentional around elevating material conditions of folks' lives. And clearly, you know, you're part of that when you're talking about bringing resources to the kids and to the students and being there for the families while the kids are out of school. But you also do a lot of other things in community. And I saw you double dutching your butt off
Look.
in Moja Day of
Yes,
Unity this
yes.
past weekend also. So you work with Girl Trek. You're doing a lot of other things to make sure that you're embedded in community. How is that for you? How are you feeling in terms of embedding yourself in some of these other organizations?
You know, it's a blessing. Definitely shout out to Double Dutch Divas and Girl Trek. You know, it's a blessing. And you just never know when you get into something what it's going to do. You know, I never thought about getting into Girl Trek and walking with a group of Black women, just talking about everyday things and how that would elevate my community, elevate self, learning about self-care, getting deeper with trauma, and more holistic ways of healing ourselves, is what I've found that has been just a blessing with the organization. Double Dutch Divas, that was something that Angie, she thought of. And it's just another way of, no matter what age you are, because a lot of times, you know, we put our name and ages on the back of our shirts. So her idea with that was just, you know, it doesn't matter what age you are, but everybody can be healthy, willing, healthy living. So, and it just does a lot. It brings out the young girls, it brings out older women, community engagement, you know, and it just makes you feel good. You know, our healthcare and is, sometimes it's so cookie cutter, you know what I mean? And self-care, it is a lot. It's very important. It's not just about the being out, you know, out in front of everything, but it's about caring for yourself and finding different ways to do that, whether it's walking, whether it's jumping, whether it's being in communion with some of your sisters or the young girls, you know. That's what I do it for. I love it. Want to keep elevating, getting our young girls involved, you know, creating more girls groups for our young girls so they won't have to wait until they're our age to get all this juiciness. They can learn that at a younger age.
You know, so much of it is about foundation building.
Yes.
And, you know, I agree with you 100%. I mean, I have 2 sons and I'm always thinking about, okay, what kind of additional foundation can I be providing for them when it comes to them being able to be around their peers and be getting the things that they need, right? So whether it's, you know, my young son being at archery class with Black Elephant Party, or my older son and his AAU basketball team that he's been with since 2nd grade, you know, now he's 15. And you see how foundational it is for them in terms of giving them the opportunity to see themselves as the Black brilliance that they are. And so much of this, for me, is about being very specific. I think sometimes for our young students and our youth, for them to be able to see, like, okay, now I see Miss Michelle's doing it. Like, I can do that too when I'm older. Exactly. I can start now. I can build up to that now. I think, you know, there's a lot of different things around athletics where, you know, young boys are seeing coaches and they see themselves in that way. What are some of the things that get you so excited about bringing the youth into the work that you're doing out there in community?
I just see myself because I'm from community. Yeah. So I'm from community. I have kids that, you know, are from the community. And I'm just excited because it seems like there's some new innovation. You know, they're thriving for something. They're looking for something. There's not a lot of spaces for them to go. So I just see getting in with the schools, you know, partnering with different schools, and making it all network in together. I have a elementary daughter. I have a son that's getting ready to go to high school. So being in that partnership, and as well as having a 21-year-old son, and that different level of intergenerational young people, it just continues to let you be able to continue to communicate with them, let them know what resources are going on. Being excited for, you know, them to be more out with it being them. We're open now, so being able to come out more and engage. So that's something that really, you know, keeps me excited about the young people, excited that I see so many of them, whereas so many of them are out doing the work. So many of them are rallying. So many of them are staying engaged, wanting to get us more engaged. And so that's something that I'm really excited about. School getting ready to start and creating some new innovative things for the young people.
Well, I just love that you're here today because honestly, like, you know, every time I see you out in community, it's always like, we need to catch up, girl. We need to catch up. But you said your son is going into high school, and I got to throw the shout out there because he's not going to just any high school, y'all.
Look,
Clearly, he's going to Garfield High. He's going to be a Bulldog.
Yes, Bulldogs.
That
definitely.
is huge. That is
Yes.
huge. You know, for us over here at Converge, we're straight up Bulldog family. You know,
yes.
Dr. Benz always says she never has seen a city that is more, our identities are more connected to the high school we went to than Seattle. And you know how we are as Bulldogs. Michelle already knows this.
Definitely.
Well, it's a beautiful thing because, you know, not only are you from community, but you're continuing to stay here in community. And even as you've had to move around, I know gentrification has hit us all, but really, you have really embedded yourself in this community in such a great way. And I just thank you for the work that you're doing out there in community. Every time I see you, you're uplifted. You got young folks around you. I see you out there working. And we wanted to make this episode today for me about the folks that I see doing some amazing work out there. So I just thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I do want to make sure that everybody in community, please, go online and go to the Odessa Brown Facebook, Seattle Children's Facebook, and make sure you register for the town hall. That is going to be on Saturday at 12 o'clock. Please voice all your concerns, be there in community, in love and light, and let's get our community clinic back in community and in love with everybody. And so it's just voice your opinions. It's going to be good. But yeah, I just want to make sure I put that plug in, please.
Absolutely, because you've been leading on that effort as well. And that's what I mean. I think, Sean said it earlier, we wear so many different hats because when we see a void, we step in, we step up. Yes. So thank you. I know that they had a whole walkout. Yeah. They were like, look, what's going on? This survey came out, these findings came out, Children's wasn't releasing it. But then after the walkout, they said, okay, we're going to do a community town hall. So you're telling people to come over to that town hall and they can find it at Odessa Brown's Facebook.
Yes.
Okay. Please. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Make your voices heard, you guys. Well, thank you so much, Michelle, for being here. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Thank you, Trey.
Absolutely. So please, you guys heard a directive right there. There's some actions that you guys can be involved with. Another opportunity to get your voice involved. If you want to understand some of those findings from Children's, we saw Dr. Ben Danielson walk out and say, look, there's some racist things going on here and they need some change. These are the things that we're talking about. Let's be engaged and informed in that process. Go over to Odessa Brown's Facebook so that you guys can figure out how to log on to that meeting happening tomorrow at noon. And I get to bring up another amazing person, Ayenay Abye, who is going to be talking about Tubman Center for Health and Freedom, all that they have going on. And there's a lot of great surveys out there. And Ayenay is going to be talking about another one, another opportunity for you to get engaged and make your voice heard. You guys stay with us, man. After this short break, we'll be right back. You're watching the Morning Update Show.
Hey guys, it's Besa Gordon from Converge Media. You can catch me on my show Rewind with Besa, which airs every other Saturday at 2 p.m. anywhere you watch Converge Media. Now, I know a lot of us still have questions about the COVID-19 vaccine. However, here are a couple things you don't have to question. Everyone 12 years and older in Washington State are now eligible for the COVID-19 vaccine. It's free and you don't even need insurance or citizenship status to get vaccinated. If you still have questions, and I know you probably do, you can visit kingcounty.gov/COVID for additional information. You can also call the King County COVID-19 call center at 206 477-3977 to get COVID-19 and the vaccination questions answered, get translation services if needed, set up an in-home vaccination appointment for yourself or someone you know may not be comfortable at a vaccination site due to a disability, anxiety, or other reasons. Look, with summer being here, now is the time to get all your COVID-19 vaccination questions answered so we can all get out the house and live our best lives again.
I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Back on this rap-ish, I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list, hope I ain't miss my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own. Tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media. Welcome back, everybody, to the Morning Update Show. I'm your co-host, Trey Holiday, and joining me right now on set is Miss Ayenay Abye of Tubman Center for Health and Freedom. Thanks so much for being here, Ayenay.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I mean, I everybody that's been on today, I have seen them doing work in community, and for years I've seen you doing work in community. And now, as a CEO of Tubman Center for Health and Freedom, you're continuing that work. Let us learn a little bit more about Tubman Center for Health and Freedom.
Yeah, just like you said, the community has been leading for years, and so it's been a privilege and an honor to be working with Tubman Health. But we started off all volunteer run. When you all started your morning show, just like you, we have a wealth of experience in our community, and so when COVID hit, we were like, it's time to click up. And so we've been doing this work for decades. However, our organization was just founded about a year and a half ago. For this very moment around the intersection of health and freedom. We must address the systems that are making our communities unhealthy.
Absolutely. And, the goals that you guys have are very specific as well. I mean, it was through you that I even learned about the term Federally Qualified Healthcare Center, FQHCs. What does that look like in terms of some of the goals that Tubman has?
Yeah, so we would like to establish our community clinic. It's going to be a patient-centered medical home. So many places in our community in terms of getting access to care. Sean talked about what access means. The question is access to what? We've seen studies put out by Bird Bar Place, by many organizations in the field here locally that have said it's not just about your income. It's not about lack of money. It's about racism. And Seattle racism is very particular. And so it's making us very unsick. So when King County said, hey, racism is a public health crisis, we're dealing with the endemic of racism and we're dealing with the pandemic. So for us, it's really important that we create a patient-centered medical home by establishing a Black-owned, Black-led, patient-directed medical center here across the lifespan.
You know what? I am so inspired by this work. And, the truth of the matter is that for me, that's really what health equity looks like. Yes. You have to be very specific about the patients that you're serving. Yes. And I love how you guys have a modicum of it being patient-led, right?
Yes.
Let the folks understand what that really means.
For us, for example, we are have a study called Well Us, and it's called Wellness Equity for Local Underreported Solutions. So many of the times we look at the system analysis of the system, and it tells us how sick we are, but it never actually takes accountability for its role in the sickness. And if you ask any community member, they will tell you what is going on in our community. And so we said, let's flip this question. It's not just around talking about what's not working. How do we uplift these local solutions? Because we know they're there. If you think about Black workers, we are the drivers of these buses. We are the in-home care providers. We know everything through and through in our community. Why can't we put forward what our solutions are? And so that's the question that begs. Why not? Why not community solutions? Why not actually fund the root cause to why our communities are unhealthy?
And you know, I remember you telling me about some of the work that you guys are doing and really establishing a full-on understanding of how people are taking care of themselves right now, and then getting the federal government really to recognize those solutions as real world solutions that bring about actual change.
Yes.
And I think that that's so important when we think about reimagining, you know, what healthcare really looks like. And when you blend together health and freedom, clearly there is a element there around equity and that being a part of it, you know, ownership, access to it, all of that.
Yes.
But making them understand that we have things that we've been doing in our communities to keep ourselves healthy.
Yes.
And they're important.
And they work.
Yeah, exactly. So tell us
Yes.
about this survey that you guys launched.
Yes, I love that point. You know, who keeps us safe? We keep us safe, right? And so for our Well Us study, we are actually in the data analysis phase, but we are going to do a second part to our study around the role of the insurance industry. Because when we're talking about ideas, we're also talking about arrangements. So how is the system configured that actually goes against the solutions we seek? So one of the things that we can debunk right here, right now, we asked our community members, what are those things you do to keep well? They actually turn to their traditional medicines. If you say traditional medicine, depending who you're talking to, they might think it's the white coat doctor at Children's Hospital. No, tradition to our families, traditions to our communities, to our homelands. What does that look like for us? And people actually access those things. But you ask them, would you do it more? What are the barriers to that? And they say insurance. My insurance doesn't cover the healthcare I want. So that's going to be the next phase to our study. It's really understanding what the system interventions are. A lot of the times when we're talking about health, it's about your individual behavior choices. When do we look at the unhealthy systems and make systems interventions, right? And so for us to establish our clinic, we're really looking at this as a model. We are not looking to piecemeal, put together different fractions of like what it means. It's like, no, we're looking at this. How do you center our community in a holistic way? And how do we offer all of those things? And our goal is to establish that and then juxtapose the current establishments that are supposed to be serving us. We need to show the other model and say, this is the direction we'd like to go. We believe another world is possible, especially for our children.
I just love this so much, Ayenay, and it's amazing because it is so needed right now. I mean, I'm just going back to some of the comments from Michelle and Sean.
Yes.
You know, this entire show is about those types of solutions. They're innovative.
Yes.
They're rooted in culturally responsiveness. That what that means is we're listening to the people and we're producing what it is the people need, right?
Exactly.
And when you talk about going back to the roots, I think about, you know, how our people knew how to use herbs and oils and do different things like Reiki and spiritualism, like bringing it back to some things that have kept our families well over generations. And so much of what I'm experiencing is in community is this reawakening right? Of us going back to the things that have always worked for us. And when we think about, he was earlier talking about capitalism, I always think about colonialism and how it tried to wipe away so many of those things by getting us to not understand the beauty and brilliance of those original solutions of our ancestors. So being able to have a way that those are uplifted once again. Tubman is doing some great work to do that.
Thank you. And we do this all in partnership. So for our Well Less study, we did that with other community-based organizations. We created the study together and we said, we own this as a community. And so we're going to take that information and give it back to the people. Health institutions, the state, they have a lot of data on us. But when do we get access to the information that we want and we need? So how do we get the tools in our hands?
Well, what are some of the ways that folks can follow up with Tubman Center for Health and Freedom? You guys are doing already phenomenal work in this first year and a half.
Thank you.
And congratulations to you for
Yes.
being now the CEO
Yes.
And being able to be one of the first employees there and build it up, right, from a volunteer.
June
Yeah.
1st.
Yeah, absolutely. What are some of the ways that folks can get in contact with Tubman Center for Health and Freedom?
Yes, check us out online, tubmanhealth.org. You can find us on Facebook and on Instagram. You can also find many of our partners. So shout out to African American Health Board, King County Equity Now, Surge Reproductive Rights, as well as the Eritrean Health Board that also came up during this time. Who keeps us safe? We keep us safe. Check us out.
Absolutely. Ayenay, I just am so grateful that you were able to make it work with your busy schedule today. Thank you again
for
being
having
here.
me.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, you guys, this Feel Good Friday has been feeling good all around. We're going to end it by continuing to feel good. I'm bringing my co-host with the most today, Sean Goode, back onto the set right after this short break. Stay tuned. You're watching the Morning Update Show.
Hey, Seattle, if you're trying to find something to do this summer, I got the perfect thing for you. Come on down to Seattle Waterfront's Pier 62 and enjoy free, yes, free, family-friendly events all summer long, like art, dance, music, storytelling. And if you're trying to get that body right before the summer is over, you might as well join their free yoga and fitness classes. Head on over to Waterfront Park Seattle for a full summer schedule of vibes you don't want to miss.
Hey, it's me, downtown Seattle, C-Town. Wish you were here. Here to explore inside, outside, and everywhere in between. Where it's easy to get my good side. Here, where my rooftops invite you to come early and stay late. Where every view is a postcard, and each night out might be your best night ever. See you soon. Love, C-Town.
Yeah. Welcome back, everybody, to the Morning Update Show. And it is such an amazing Feel Good Friday. Sean, you've been feeling good today?
I feel wonderful. Wonderful. I got my SPF 95 on right now. You know what I mean? Like, it's hot outside, it's cool in here. Man, I feel great.
You know what? I mean, the beautiful thing about this week and being at the Liberty Bank building was really, again, plugging into community, and that was my thing. As O told me, he said, look, next week, the show is yours, and I said, really what I want to do is I want to be showcasing the brilliance that I know exists in community. And I'm so appreciative of everybody who has joined us this week. Every single guest, you guys were phenomenal. And I'm so glad that here on the Morning Update Show, we were able to utilize our platform to elevate and uplift and amplify the work that you're doing out there in community. It's just a beautiful thing, Sean. And as you just said there during the break, I mean, we're in this together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a collective lift. Right. So often the temptation is to silo off, put your head down and get the thing done. But we can't get it done individually, but collectively, there's nothing that we can't accomplish. And we've watched that over the past 18, 19 months in a revolutionary way.
Yeah.
And now it's important that we keep that same energy and continue to push forward, which is why anytime you call, right, anytime Big O calls, of course,
yeah,
because you give so much, you pour so much. And when people like you love big, give big, it behooves all of us to give back and love back in the same way. So thank you for the way that you serve, because you inspired me to do the same.
Oh my gosh, likewise. And that's where, for me, I realize when I go across this nation, right? When I travel and even outside of the country, I realize we have something so unique here in King County, in Washington State, with this amazing, network and ecosystem of so many amazing people doing great work. And it's funny because I went to Atlanta thinking, oh, I can't wait to learn from these guys over here. And they were like, it was nothing but silos, right? And the ideas of like even the collaborative efforts or collectives that they've tried to create really have been, led astray by those who then go back for, well, this money is going to be mine. I don't need you. All of that kind of idea. And one brother said to me out there, he said, the thing about us down here in Atlanta is we really are for self. And he said, I came up to Seattle. I see how you guys are for community. There's a difference. And I'm just so grateful to be a part of it. I know you are.
Yeah, well, there's only, 7-8% of us here in King County anyway. So if we can't figure it out, y'all, right, then who is and when?
Yeah.
But no, really, Ernest, Trey, like, this is a gift. This platform's a gift. The opportunity to be in space with you and the brilliant guests today, so much to be gleaned, not just from any single contribution, but the collage of it all is just a manifestation of Black brotherhood.
You know what? I agree with you 100%. And that's why I'm so grateful that we get to end our week at Liberty Bank Building in this phenomenal way. Thank you to all of y'all for being here today. Everybody has contributed so much. Thank you to the crew. Thank you to you guys out there for supporting Converge Media and the Morning Update Show. As O says all the time, we do this because of your support and with your support. So please, if you guys haven't donated, I'm going to just throw it out there on this Feel Good Friday. Take the opportunity to donate to us. We so need your donations to continue this effort.
This is because you're part of it.
Yeah. There you go.
Family, it's imperative that we support Black-led media. It doesn't have to be an astronomical gift. It can be a small gift given over a 12-month period of time, month in and month out. But each one of those contributions makes a substantial difference. And so when we say things like we need things like this in our community, we can say that with our voice, but let it also be said with our actions. And our action that can be most powerful isn't only sharing the stream, but sharing your resources in a transformational way. And I believe giving to Converge is doing exactly that. So whether it be $5, $10, $20, they even got clubs you can join on the website where you can get free hoodies and swag and coffee cups. You can walk around looking like a straight up Converge billboard if you give the right amount of money. The point being, it has less to do with the amount of money that you give and more with your commitment to say, I am a part of this. And because I'm a part of this community of Converge, I'm going to do my part to make sure it continues to advance as we move together on this journey towards justice.
Ah, yes. Give it up. Thank you so much, Sean. Brother, that means the world. And again, thank you for being here on your daughter's birthday. I know that you guys probably have some great family time set aside. So I'm going to let everybody go today. I'm just so appreciative of your presence and your energy as always.
I love you. Thank you, sis.
Love you back. Well, you guys, I cannot thank y'all enough. And thank you, Big O, for giving me the opportunity to host this week and also drive the show. It meant so much to me to produce these segments for the Morning Update Show this week and bring on these amazing guests doing great work in our community. And oftentimes it is through the lives of others that we get the inspiration that we need to be in these solutions and see ourselves as a part of them. When I say that, what I mean is reach out and touch someone, right? Figure out how not to be in a silo of thought of your own volition, but to join this collective movement of amazing ecosystem members, organizations, individuals, and institutions that are pouring into community. With all of you, we become better. Lastly, you guys, tomorrow, last message, SABJ at Converge Studios. Please give that $10 and buy that ticket. Let's make sure we are showing up for Connie Thompson as Jesse Jones pays an amazing tribute to her and her life and legacy. We need it. We need more and more Black journalists, as you guys can see. So please make sure you guys are buying your ticket. That is happening tomorrow. So you guys will be able to see a little bit of the new Converge Studios before we're actually in the studio on Monday. And thank you guys so much for being with us this week as my my co-host Big O would say, go forward in your purpose, go forward in your humanity. And until Monday at 11 a.m., peace.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day.